Restaurant Unstoppable, inspire, empower, and transform the industry. With excitement, allow me to introduce to you today's guest, founder and CEO of both Covey Restaurant Partners and Nurish, Troy Hooper. My man, Troy, are you feeling unstoppable today?
Incredibly unstoppable.
Yes, that is what we like to hear. So, man, I enjoyed looking you up this morning because I started to dive in. I was like, this guy has been all over the place. And I see records of you starting Covey Restaurant Partners all the way back to 2005. But it sounds like that was more of like a parent company that you're doing consulting under. But then in 2018, you really decided to maybe pivot. I don't know what the heck's going on, but you clearly have a really interesting background working in corporate and fine dining. And today you launched Nurish, which is this really neat concept of, it seems like you're putting brands on fast tracks. Like you're just kind of creating these paths for them and saying, okay, you have a good idea. Now let's put you in the system to really catch fire.
That is right.
Generally?
That is dead on. We look at it as a platform before anything.
I love it.
A way of getting an idea out there quickly and successfully.
Yeah, and I'm excited to be here too because honestly, you haven't been called out officially on the show. However, it seems like every other conversation I have, especially during the pandemic and this conversation about ghost kitchens and who's doing it right and who can we learn from at ghost kitchens, your name kept coming up from multiple different people. And then I even spoke to Jason Berkowitz, who was a past guest on the show because he's based in Los Angeles. I let him know I was coming to town and he said I needed to talk to you. So, man, all signs are pointing to Troy Hooper right now.
Well, that's awfully generous. I appreciate that. Hopefully I've earned some portion of what you've said.
No pressure.
There.
No pressure.
No pressure. Okay. I'll try.
All right. I cannot wait to get into your story. Well, let's get that motivational, inspirational ball rolling with a success quote or mantra. What do you got for us?
It just goes back to something I learned probably about 18, 20 years ago, and that is seek first to understand, then be understood. And that's a Stephen Covey quote. I found Covey by accident, and it has served me very, very, very well for somebody who's very ambitious and high speed. It means for me to slow it down and think before I speak and ask before I tell. And having been in a lot of leadership roles, that's a super important quality. So I do try to remind myself of that almost every day.
I love that quote. One of the 7 habits of highly effective people.
You got it.
And I love that quote because what is empathy, right? Empathy is trying to understand the other person's perspective. And it's hard to understand if you don't listen, if you don't really try to take in what it is. Tell me what you're feeling. Tell me what it's like from your angle, from your perspective. And until you open up that dialogue to take it in, you just don't know. Also, people will why go into a dispute or a conversation without as much data as possible? People will tell you exactly what they want to hear if you let them tell you.
Right.
And if you're ever going to negotiation or if you're just trying to have a conversation or whatever, if you just keep your mouth shut and ask questions and listen, they will give you all the information you need. It's a very powerful state of mind.
Yeah, and after a lifetime of putting your foot in your mouth, you tend to say, maybe if I take in some perspectives here, I gather information rather than find out through failure, try to mandate something and find out, hey, but what about this? Or did you think about that? It's better to kind of gain that intel first. And then obviously by doing that, you gain collaboration, you gain trust, you gain input, you gain investment from whoever you're working with, whether it's a partner or a customer or most importantly a staff and employee member that you need to get to move in a certain direction. So you just through trial and error, when you ask and you get information and then you have more than what you can just produce on your own brain, it's going to serve you better to be more successful more quickly.
Great way to get this thing started.